Hey, fellow comic book fans. Today we're talking about the Magic Order number 2. If you haven't already read the comic book, please be sure to do so, as the following video does contain spoilers. Alright, so Magic Order number 2, another great issue. Netflix certainly came out of the gate swinging. Mark Millar here did a fantastic job. This book's intro scene here, it was like opening the comic book, getting slapped in the face, and being quickly reminded, that you're reading the Magic Order here. The pace was set immediately, the tone was set immediately, and what followed was another great comic book. Surprisingly, that even had some humor in it. This is a dark book. It's going to be a very dark series, but there's also obviously magic and there's humor. It's great. It feels very, very well balanced, and I'm impressed, guys. Really impressed yet again. What do you guys think?
I think it's very powerful. The first issue starts off with a fairly disgusting and powerful scene, as does the second issue that I don't even think we can talk about it without getting in trouble on. So I'm going to move on to the second scene, which is the young Cordelia having this outrageous magic trick in front of her middle school friends, which is absolutely terrifying and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what we're going to see. It's going to be this roller coaster whiplash kind of experience that on the one hand, we're going to see absolute gore and depravity, and then this crazy over the top, wild, adventurous humor.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the top still, but it's still very dark, very intense. And there's some really interesting characters here. Like, I really like the Ray, who's in charge of keeping all the magic artifacts safe.
Yeah.
It's essentially the comic book guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's living with his mother. I mean, the vault or whatever, it's in his basement, or his mother's basement. Like, it's kind of perfect. He's wearing a kick-ass shirt. Like, come on. This was great. He's a very interesting character. We learned a little bit more about Cordelia. She's obviously a very interesting character. And, we still have the bad guys here, big scary bad guys, just like tearing it up, like mayhem. And and you know what? It's not actually even mayhem. It's like they're surgically taking out magicians.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool.
They seem to be extremely powerful, extremely driven, and they know exactly what they want to do and why. And the interesting thing that I find is that I have no idea how powerful any of the other magicians are, except maybe Cordelia. It seems that Cordelia is incredibly powerful, but some of the other ones, we don't really have any idea of the nature and the extent of their magical powers. And I think that'll be explored as things go on. But yeah, I'm liking this. There's chaos and lots of damage, and good little taste of horror here too. There's a price to be wielding this power, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and it definitely explained a little bit more. Agreed. I think they really need to. They don't need to do anything, I suppose. But what I wouldn't mind having some idea of the wizard's powers in a way, just because they are just getting their butts whooped right now, and it's like, is this just because they're not good, or just that the other guys are so much better? I want to see them do more, so I can be like, wow, you are really cool. So if you die, it's like, oh, it's a big deal. That's it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Otherwise, it's a lot of fun. It is a little like, mayhem all over the place. The villains don't care too much about being discreet, which I think is cool, because obviously the whole idea is like, you don't want the world outside the world to know. They're kind of going like, whatevs, and I'm okay with that. That's really like, different for villains. Generally, they don't give two shakes anyway.
And you know what else too? Like, we're talking a lot about the story and the characters here. I mean, how great is the artwork?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, this is like the stuff that nightmares are made out of. Man, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording about the camera. Like, that scene is a nightmare, like, in itself.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, like if that was a thing, like, terrifying. I wouldn't go outside anymore, kind of deal.
Exactly. It's, it really is, like you said, it's terrifying. The more you sit and think about what happens in this book, like, the scarier it becomes.
Yeah.
And some of the ways that some of these magicians are picked off are really interesting, but also, like I said, straight out of nightmares.
Oh yeah, disturbing, without doubt. There's a couple that
absolutely disturbing.
I mean, it was great, but it freaked me out big time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it stays with you, which is great, because that's that's when, you know, that's true terror there. It's not about the jump scenes and being unnerved, it's the horror that lingers with you. And, you know, the Magic Order is certainly so far doing that. And I tell you what, taking a look at next issue's cover, it is going to get intense. And yeah.
I think like Image is doing really well with that creepiness that lingers, like
Yeah.
Gideon Falls.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Gideon Falls.
Good job. So
Gideon Falls,
or, Infidel.
Infidel, yeah, Infidel's another one.
Yeah, they're doing good, and you know, Magic Order is definitely though right now one of my top ranking ones.
Yeah, I completely agree. So another great issue, guys. But I think that's everything we have for Magic Order number 2. So if you liked the video, hit the like button, leave us a comment what you think about the comic book. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, check out thebrazenbull.com for more great comic book content. Until next time.
Adios.